Всем привет, друзья! Меня зовут Александр Моисеев, и это наш подкаст, где мы приглашаем специалистов из футбольной индустрии и эту самую индустрию обсуждаем. И мы возвращаемся к истокам, снова обсуждаем футбольную аналитику, то, как она устроена. Но это первый выпуск, и я искренне рад, что этот выпуск нам удается записать. Это выпуск с иностранным специалистом, с опытом работы, многолетним опытом работы в Испании. Мы об этом сегодня поговорим. Это главный аналитик футбольного клуба «Динамо Москва» Гильермо Герра. Большую часть сегодня будем говорить на английском языке, поскольку Гильермо, понятно, не владеет русским языком. So, we can start. Thanks for opportunity. Thanks that we can make this podcast and this episode. It's very important for me, for our school. And first question for every guest. Can you tell about your background? Where did you start football analyst? Or what's your experience before Dynamo Moscow? And
first, also from my part, thank you. For me, it's also very good to can spend time talking about this. And about the background, I started to work in football industry like around 8 years ago. I can say that previously I have some experiences in my hometown, coaching different teams, but I started in professional football in this way in Valencia FC. And I started at the beginning coaching. After I turned into analyst, and I have been the last 3 years working for the B team of Valencia. I have been enrolled in Valencia in all the different levels. So this was very interesting for me because I can watch the club from different point of views, and this gives me a lot of experience especially about methodology in tactics in youth. That for me this is very important. And the last 3 years I've been in the B team of Valencia in third division of Spain. This is more or less like professional experience for me. I was the lead analyst, and there I developed kind of role that I'm doing here. Just lead all the processes of analysis, support the staff in all the video feedback, and basically this is my experience in these last years.
And what was your way to Dynamo Moscow?
Yeah, in Valencia, I was, as I said before, in all the. I've been in all the teams of the structure of the club, and I spent time with the lead analyst, the head of analysis in Valencia in the first team, 5 seasons ago, and this analyst was previously the head of analysis of this staff, and he was enrolled with them in Sheffield United. And in this experience, he was also offered to come, but he couldn't for different things. He was already working in Spain in this moment, and they tried to find some profile of analyst that can more or less develop the same role that this guy was doing in that moment. And this guy offered myself to the staff. We talk, we meet each other, and they decided that I was the person that can fix in this. So basically, it was more about some contact with the previous head of analysis of this staff that believed in that moment that I could be the person that fits in this role.
Why did you make this decision? I mean, Spain and Russia, we know it's big difference, in my opinion, big difference about level, and not only team, I mean about infrastructure, the club. In my opinion, maybe it's not correct, and that's a level of analytics and analytic department. And why did you make this decision and come in Russia, another country, other club?
Yeah, this is a good question, and this is the question that I make a lot before coming, because I was not sure at the beginning of leaving all what I had there, not just in terms of professional football and of work, also about life in your comfort zone, and decide to come here. I really believe, of course, I was not in the highest level of football in Spain because I was not working in the first division. Although I think that the type of work that I was developing in B team of Valencia and the structure of Valencia Academy is almost as professional as the best football teams in first division. But for me, I thought in that moment that this was a very great challenge in all the terms. I mean, it was a great challenge professionally because I will enroll with a professional staff, with a lot of experience in different clubs, in different countries. And especially personally, it was a very big challenge. I could say that after a few years in the same role, you sometimes need to move the tree and see what is happening and look for different, let's say, adventures or what I say, different challenge. And for me, this was like break totally with my comfort zone, and I was looking also for something like this. Of course, I didn't feel that I was coming to worse level of football or something like this. In my opinion, I thought that I was making a step forward in that moment because I don't know if in that moment I didn't know how was the structure of Dinamo, but I was sure that the staff I will enroll will be one step forward in my career, and I believe that it was decision more or less risky decision because I leave all what I have created in that moment. But anyway, football is about this, about taking decisions on the pitch, and also for people that is outside, taking decisions outside the pitch.
Okay, thanks. And in Russia, if you want to start to work analyst, you don't need to receive license. Yes, you don't need to receive this. You need only to have a competition for this, and you can receive this competition at the school, in our school, for example, in other schools, or you can maybe only watch videos and try to do something on have blog, and after that, usually it's Russian experience, you can receive the offer and start to work in Russian club. Not like Dynamo, not your first club, it's in first or second leagues, but it's experience, and for this you don't need to have license or specific education. And as for Zhenya too, he doesn't have license or he doesn't have degree in football. It's so, and for you it's a different experience. Can you talk about this and compare with Russian and Spain and other countries maybe?
I also believe that Spain is some different with other countries because especially the profile of the analyst in Spain, my opinion, compared with all what I have seen, that is not too much, because I cannot talk what is happening in any country. And also I cannot talk about what is happening in Spain in general, because there are a lot of clubs. Yeah, I can talk only about my experience, and I don't want to make it as stable opinion and the reality. But for example, I will say you, because I check sometimes during all these years, different offers of job in different countries, okay? And when you try to accede to get access to some job opportunities, for example, in England, that we can say that is the biggest country in terms of analytics, because they have huge analysts in every club. They have developed this in a very, very professional way since a lot of years ago. When you try to get access to this job opportunity, one of the requirements always is to have degree in sports science in the university. Preferable, I don't know if the word is preferable, but they would prefer to have people with kind of license of coaching, because this means that they have also coaching knowledge to join the analysis that they do with the football. And I think that Spain is a little bit different. I don't want to make long answer, but Spain is a little bit different because the profile of analyst in Spain, we could say that it's more a coach. In fact, in Spain there are now a lot of formation, different courses in the whole country about analysis that you can do. Very good, specific of data, specific of scouting, specific of software using for learn how to prepare and plan analysis and create information. But normally the profile that they sell in these courses is coach analyst. I mean, they look for this way. Yes. So I really believe that, and in Spain it's not mandatory to have a license of analyst. It's a very good recommendation because you can have more knowledge from the beginning. In fact, many coaches that are not finding the opportunity to be coach in any moment turn to be analyst, and the approach of the analysis in Spain is more from this tactic part, is more about a specialist in football, not a specialist in analysis. And sometimes this is good for us because this is the demand that many staffs have, that is join the analysis to the football, because sometimes football and analysis, we are making very big difference between one and the other. And just to summarize, in Spain, for example, in my case, I finished my sports science degree in the university. I did master degree about performance analysis. After, I was in England a few months doing some courses in the University of Liverpool about analysis. So I was very oriented to this. But I believe that the most important in all these years is that I have been coaching, that I have been on the pitch, that I have learned about tactics in football, and I can join this knowledge about analysis, this technical knowledge, with the tactical knowledge of the pitch. That I think that this is the most important, and this is the difference in these countries probably with here, as you said.
You said that they are specific, for example, data analysis, performance analysis, maybe scouting, and do you have in Spain specific, for example, degree for scouting or degree for data analyst? No, it's in general. And after that, where you receive knowledge and receive skills for maybe for data analysis, for other specific part of analysis, not in general.
In Spain,
yes,
I know that in other countries there are, but in Spain there is not, or there are not bachelor degrees of 4 years in the university oriented to this to this area. Normally, as in university, I believe that in Russia the same. University is more general.
Yes,
I mean,
yes. Russia,
when you are studying in the university, you receive a general knowledge, and after you have this master's degree or master degrees, just to go deeply in some knowledge, and you can, let's say, specialize yourself in any area. And in this case, you can do, for example, if you do sports science, you can do some master degrees about data analysis, only for data. You can do about coaching, only for coaching. You can do about probably fitness coaching, to be fitness coach. So it's general knowledge to have like the basis or the basics of everything, understand all the processes in how sports should work, human body, anatomy, all these things. And after, you can specialize yourself in different areas. So
no, for master's degree, and as for specific for master's degree, it works in Spain.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you don't have master degrees or license, okay, understood. And as for master degrees, can you start work in the club in Spain if you don't have master degrees or bachelor degrees?
Yeah, the good thing or the bad thing is that this is not mandatory in Spain.
No, but in general, yes, I understood not mandatory, but
normally many people is working just with some coaching license, and they start to work in the club in different roles, depending also in the club. For example, when I started in Valencia, the analysis department was not developed like it's now. And the demands for people that arrived to the club were different. In that moment, probably we can say that people with, like now in Russia, 8 years ago in Spain, people with some interest in work on this, and dynamic people that want to learn, that want to innovate, they go inside of this area. Now when they look for new analysts, they look for people with experience, with background using software, with coaching experience also. So to go inside of, I believe that to go inside of professional structures or professional clubs, you need to have, I don't want to say that you need to have education specifically, but 100% you need to have a small background that could be received from the education or from the professional background. So normally could be one of both.
Okay, in Russian, as for this topic, in Russian we have cases where the people he has background, but it's journalist background. For example, he has blog, 2 years, 3 years, he works in media, and after that he started to work in football club. For example, in the case one man who worked at Dynamo. For example, he has blog, and that he worked in media, and after that he received the offer at the Dynamo. Did you have the same example in Spain, or for Spain it's impossible?
No, it's not impossible, but it's true that the level of specialization, or I don't know if this is a word, but the level of formation, of education of people and the background that people have now makes quite difficult that you can arrive in football industry from other way that is not going step by step from the first starting. Even I can say that this make that sometimes people is over educated, that you can find UEFA Pro coaches training under 8-year-old kids. So this is something that can happen because the people, I think that the big difference is that Spain is a country in which you breathe football. Football is all around and everybody loves football, and there is a deep knowledge in general about football, and this makes that many people is interested in to learn, into receive education.
Yes,
even I myself, when I did the coaching courses, I was with ex-football players, but I also was with some old people that were, I don't know, striker, and they want to start to receive this license of coaching because they are so interested in football. And this is something that you can find in Spain because it's, a football country, we can say.
No, yes, it's harder because a lot of people who want to work, and you need to be the better, and that's why you need to learn this. Zhenya said me that when you start work at football, you work 1 or 2 years without salary, and it was for experience or for what? Can you tell about this?
Yeah, I had I'm not from Valencia. I'm from a small village in the north of Spain, and I moved to Valencia because I want to start to work as analyst. I have clear focus about being analyst because I felt myself fixing very well in this role because I don't feel that I have probably the football level as football player to be coach in the future, and I wanted to dedicate myself to football world, and I used the opportunity that I received in any moment to get into this industry, and in that moment was in Valencia. I started to do my internship period, official internship period, that obviously is not paid. But after this, I keep working in Valencia for 1 year and a few months more. Like if I was intern, but I was not intern because I have finished my internship period. So I was, let's say, working for free. But I didn't feel this like a big problem because for me it was unbelievable experience. And this is one of the best decisions that I have taken because this gave me the opportunity of being there, of use all the tools that Valencia have and I cannot have outside of the club, of share time with very good professionals that if I decide not to be there, I cannot share time. Of course, this is not the best, or I believe that this is not the best option for everybody because not everybody can do this. In that moment, I was giving some of my time to this opportunity, and at the same time, I was working in a school, and at the same time, I was working in a company. So it was very busy time of my life. But if I watch now what I am in this moment, I say that this was good. Could be some people also that took this risk and say, "Oh, I miss 2 years of my life spending here," but it's the opportunity to be enrolled there and to use some tools that otherwise is impossible for you to receive this professional, let's say tools and professional knowledge from people that is in the club.
Do you know more cases, more situations where people start to work for free for experience? It's a regular practice for Spain, or it's exception in your case?
No. I really believe that a lot of people have been in my situation, even in worse situation in terms of salaries and all these terms. But I have talked many times with people here in Russia about the level, because everybody wants to compare. When you come from other country, wants to compare Russia with Spain. But you try always or you approach, most of you, I don't want to say everybody, but you approach this like if there is a big difference, that is better for Spain. But I don't believe this, because in Spain, the youth football and the youth sport is non-professional work in general. So many people dedicate a lot of time to work in this kind of structures. I mean, youth, I don't want to say for free, but for some money that is not a work. It's just
almost for free.
All these cases is a hobby. So many people start here like a hobby, and I believe that what make people keep working in this hobby, because at the end it's a work and really professional work, because people, coaches in the youth in Spain, in any club, I'm not talking about Valencia, I'm talking about any club, they work in a very professional way. And I believe that here there are two things. That is, for one side, the passion. Okay, they feel passion for this, and this passion make that they keep working even without gaining money, because they don't watch this as a work. They watch this as a opportunity to be doing something that they love. And this passion, this fire that you have inside about football, that everybody in Spain in any moment put the fire on with football, because everybody loves football. It's football country. Sometimes it's this flame, this fire is always on, and you find people with 50 years old working with under 12 kids with passion, with dedication, and they can be gaining some money that is not enough for the gas of the car, for example. And in many other cases, this flame, this fire goes down. At the end, what we have talked, when you have other responsibilities, when you want to develop yourself in a different way, it's difficult to keep this balance between do something just for love that you like, but it's a lot of time, and do something for money. So you need to find this balance. And many people, let's say, give up in any moment. And it's a pity, because I think that, for example, here in Russia, in clubs, like I only know about the case of Dinámo, but the youth is very, very developed. I mean, people here dedicate themselves to the youth. In Spain, except 3-4 teams, the rest of the teams, coaches of the youth have the coaching work, but this is part-time job, because they have other job outside. They don't dedicate themselves to this. So I believe that this is not a big difference, and in Spain it's more about how they approach this. But I would say, just to finish, that there are a lot of cases like myself and people that make even much more effort than me, because I was lucky. I was working in Valencia from when I was 21 years old. I was working in Valencia. I arrived from my hometown. I started to work in Valencia, and I had this huge opportunity that others don't have, and do the same as I did, but working in the club of the hometown or in the club of the neighborhood, and a small club with less resources, and I was lucky in this way. But there are a lot of people in this situation.
Yes, here I'm on the same page with you, and in my experience, in my opinion, when you learn something new profession, new skills, and you want to start work in football, yes, it's very almost everyone who loves football here want to work, and here you need to understand that first year, maybe for the second years, you need to dedicate for experience. I mean, you don't need not only knowledge, you need to have skills, praxis, and this you need to dedicate this time to receive this praxis, and it's okay if you in this time work for free or almost for free. It's okay. It's in the other professions, it's the same. And I don't know why when I speak with our students, they say we finish not degree. It's only course, for example, for 3 years, or not years, sorry, for 3 months, maybe half year, not 2 years, not 1 year. It's not so long time. And they say me, I don't want to start work for free or go in second league, in first league, and not in Premier League. And they want to receive good offer with good money, with good salary in Premier League and maybe in the team from Moscow or St. Petersburg. And so it's impossible. You need to receive praxis and you need to dedicate time, and after that you can start. For example, I don't know how many, 3-4 cases when the students, not our, for example, Zheng is a good example here too. They finished the course, and after that they do something that find new work. They have praxis around 1 year, and after 1 year, in general, sometimes it's more, sometimes it's maybe half year, but in general it's around 1 year. After they receive the offer and receive a workplace in football. But this first year after your education, after finish the course, you receive praxis and you work for free, and it's okay because the same in other profession, in my opinion.
For this, I have one advice that is about compare football with any other industry in the world.
Yes.
So the problem is that we watch football and everybody wants to work in Dinámo, in Spartak, in Zenit. Okay. But when you finish if you do a 3 months course about airplanes, you are not going to work as engineer of the aerospatial company of Russia. I don't know. I'm saying this name. So this is a long way, long path. And the problem is that we feel we sometimes don't approach football as the level that it have, because also it's true that this is not established who is inside football, and sometimes we find some cases of people without any formation, any education that is there, and we say, okay, if he's there, I can be there. And this is not regular, and this is not, you need to be 6 years experience to be in the second league. You need to be 8 years. So this is not established, and we can find some examples that in any moment can make us confused and believe that we are prepared to be there. Probably we are prepared to be there, but this is the less cases. In general, football is like any other industry. You need a big experience. You need to dedicate a lot of time. You need to continue study, to recycle your knowledge every day, to have this spirit of innovation, this desire to learn. And in any moment, this opportunity can arrive, but this is not mandatory, because even if you are a good engineer, you are not going to work for Aeroflot, and you will work for the car matching center or of your hometown because you don't find this opportunity. This is not only about your desire. This is about your way, your background, and that's why it's important to use sometimes all these opportunities that football can give to you, to be close to the football world, to be close to coaches, to learn about people around there, and sometimes use this time, even if you are not gaining money, try to fix this time with your work and learn, because this could be useful for the future. But you need to watch this as a marathon, not as a sprint race in which I do the course, because in this way I have finished my UEFA Pro license last year, and I could say I want to be coach of Barcelona. And of course, this is not realistic. I can say, okay, let's gain more knowledge, more experience, and in any moment I can have the opportunity of be a coach in a good club, but Barcelona doesn't depend on you, or to be in Spartak doesn't depend on you. What depends on you is your knowledge, your effort, your background, and you need to create this knowledge inside of yourself and use this time is the best way to do it, I believe.
No, we have 2 points here. First point, I don't know, it's maybe the same from for Spain. Almost every person think that he is good, or he is good at football. I mean, we watch football, for example, TV, and I know how play every team, how what need to improve, why the coach did a mistake, and so in Russia it's so almost every person watch football, and he or she is sure that he know what can make better. I don't know in Spain, but it's very important point because a lot of person think that they can start work and Spartak, Dynamo, and big clubs. And second point, I don't know if it's the same in Spain. In Russia, we have now, it's only my opinion, but it's we have this problem. We have now in Russian a lot of courses, really a lot of courses, online education, not in football, in every profession, in every industries, and almost every course and almost every school, a lot of schools, courses, they say you can pay your money, dedicate 3, 4, maybe 1 year, and after that you receive the best work in our country. You receive a lot of money, and only thanks to our course if you finish this. But it's not so. But we have this problem, and a lot of people believe in this idea, believe in this position maybe, and they go to the course, finish course, and after that, and where is my work? You say me, school, you say me that I received a good job, but after that you need to dedicate 1-2 years to receive this, and you need to receive experience, and after that you can start work at football. No, all for other industries is the same. I don't know, but in Russia now, unfortunately, it's so, and I really hate it because I can understand this.
But about this, I also have one advice on this, because I have thought about this a long time. And the problem is that, in my opinion, always in my opinion, that the problem is that in general, we, all the humans, approach all these cases we are talking about work or job opportunities from selfish opinion from ourselves, but there are a lot of factors, a lot of things in the context that determine the reality of the, let's say, the reality of the job, and I explain now. Because these factors, of course, one of these factors, and probably one of the most important, is the education that you receive. But this is only one factor, and I will put example that is very, very visual. You can have the UEFA Pro license, coaching license. You can have been a player in the national team for 10 years. So you have one factor that is the education. You have one factor that is huge experience in professional football, even it's from player side. But then you don't have communication skills. Imagine that you are not good in talk to people, that you feel nervous when you talk. Of course, you can improve this, but this is also limiting factor. So you need to take in account all the factors, and when you control these factors, probably you are very, very close to this professional level, or even you are inside of this professional level. But this happened to me. For example, I had in when I started to work, I had a huge education. I had a degree, the masters, all these things. I have some background experience in the work, but I probably didn't have these social skills to work in team, because in football you need to do this teamwork, or I don't have the practical knowledge that this is something that you get with the years. And this is key, because someone that have been 10 years in football have lived more experiences than you, and these experiences give you practical knowledge. So when we compare, you need to get this, and to get this factor, this practical knowledge, for example, you need time. You cannot arrive and say, I'm now learning a lot about all my colleagues, about the assistant coaches, the main coach, people here in Russia and the staff. I learn a lot because they have lived much more situations than me in professional football, and they know what have happened before, what is going to have. They can predict what is going to come. They can manage better the situation because they have felt this pressure before. So this practical knowledge needs time. And the problem, just to summarize, is that, and this is the advice, that we need to approach this from a huge amount of factors, not only education. Because also I know people like me. I was in some subjects in the university in which I didn't learn nothing because I was not focused. So yeah, I get the license or the diploma of the university, but I'm not a specialist in, I don't know, in anatomy, because it's not only the diploma, it's also about how you show to people that you can make this education transform or switch this education into the practical world. And this is completely practical world, So I think that this is in this line, more or less.
Yes, it's more complicated question, as usually with it.
We can talk about
yes. Okay. So I have next big topic. It's about analyst department in La Liga. If you know this information, no, for me, for our audience, I think the same. It's very interesting. Analyst department in La Liga. I understand it depends on the club, an opportunity, budget, but maybe the same, or you can compare in top clubs. No, I mean Real, Barcelona, and the clubs who not on the high level, but in La Liga. How many people work in general? How many people work in analyst department, and what do every? Maybe can you tell about this?
Yeah, okay, I cannot talk about all the cases, it's the same, but I can talk about Valencia and a few more that
your
I know
experience
closely. But just to make a point is that in Spain, I believe that this area of analysis, this department analysis in every club, is still being developed. They are not in the biggest development in terms, especially of number of people working. The analysis is something essential in Spain. I mean, this is a stable role that everybody has, but they don't have this role because they think that they must have this role. This is a demand that is covering a real problem, and they really need, and they really believe that they need these people to cover this part of the work. The closest department that I have been, normally club have always minimum one analyst from the club. This is essential, and this is something that should have every club, because you know that in football, especially in professional football, these staffs are going, coming, and you need stability. When one staff arrive, they need information, and when one staff goes, you cannot be without anybody working there. So in the case of Valencia, they have two analysts from the club, and normally the coach that arrive normally brings one analyst more with
coach
them.
Analyst.
So let's say that these analysts make the work of organization of this area. And the best thing, for example, in the case of Valencia and in some other clubs, big clubs like Atlético de Madrid, Real Madrid, all these clubs, for example, in the case of Valencia, there is a big structure in the academy for analysis. There are, I believe now there are 7 people, but when I was there, they were 6. Beginning of the season, we were 6 people. And they have created protocols in which every analyst from the first team to the youth work in the same line. So when there is some needs to cover in the first team, everybody is ready to offer solutions to the first team, and in any moment we can help them. For example, if in this season the coach left in any moment, and the analyst of the club were, let's say, over work. I don't know how to say that. They were very, very busy and they need help from the academy. So they can go in the academy and say, please, I need that you code these matches, or I need that you prepare these individual videos. So we have methodology of analysis established in the last years that this is the most important, in my opinion. So it's not only about the first team. The first team is not one island, in the middle of the ocean, and everything is far from this. In this case, this is very connected to the academy, and this is very useful because everybody is ready to be promoted to the first team and everybody can help in any moment. So in general, I can say that I believe that normally every club has 2 analysts in the first division, and the biggest structures like Barcelona or Real Madrid, I don't know now, but they have more people. They can have 4 or 5 people. And also very important point is that the analyst in Spain is one coach more. I mean, the profile is different. It's not the analyst is there and this is someone that gives us information. He participates as one coach more. And in the same way, for example, in my case, I was last season the only analyst in the B team of Valencia, but the goalkeeper coach made in that moment some analysis work. The assistant coach made some analysis work. The fitness coach also made some analysis work. So we create a net of working. Everybody analyze football. Everybody create this. And let's say that the analyst only put some criteria of order, of planification, of organization. So I believe that in one staff of professional football in Spain, with young coaches and young staff, one analyst can manage everything. It's not the best situation, but the most important is that it's not the analyst give work to everybody and create solutions to everybody. It's more the analyst help everybody, but everybody's working around this. So it's more a net connected, and this is the profile of the analyst that, but should be between 2 and 5, I believe.
No, okay, so what does fitness...
The issue is talk about what is the responsibilities of the analyst in Spain. But the fitness coach, for example, in my case, the previous fitness coach I work with, when he has to clip some images to manage information for himself, he clip these images by himself. He learned how to clip, how to code this information. So I mean this, that they are not dependent on the analyst. They can do work by themselves. They manage, of course, all the fitness data, all the GPS data. We talk, we share reports. I receive the fitness data report. He received the tactical report. We compare things. But it's more about that in their part of the work that they need to cover, they are they can do they are self workers. I mean, they can do by themselves. They don't depend on someone that come and make the clips. For example, the goalkeeper coach I work with, he creates all the resources for the goalkeepers during the week. With some help from my side, I can help in covering some things, but he has the capacity of analyze one match or just download one training session and prepare some clips to show to one player. Or I mean that it depends, no? Also in the people that you work with, but this is the spirit of every. Do you know what happened? That is something I would like to say is that football in Spain. I say that Spain is football country, but it's also tactic country. I mean, everybody wants to know what happened in football. Everybody's
in Spain.
Yeah, in Spain. I mean, everybody's so interested in football, and of course, once that you are working in football, everybody goes deep to the details. Tactics are very important. So this means that everybody is very interested in what is happening inside of the game, inside of a training session. So all the details are very important. Everybody's interested, and this made that also everybody's interested in have the resources to prepare feedback for the players, to analyze one training session, one match, and everybody has more or less some knowledge. For example, now the goalkeeper coach license, they receive education about analysis also. How to code, how to prepare feedback, how to organize feedback, how to show, how to paint, all these things. Because everybody wants to go deep in the part that they do. Everybody wants to go deep, and I talk about this.
Two questions here. You said that usually two analysts is minimum, two analysts for club, and what the responsibility of what they did, and what the responsibility of every analyst in general.
Okay, this is hard to say because depend on how many people they are. But in case that there are two, normally the work is clear divide between team analysis and opposition analysis.
Okay.
So I have found few different structures in which they mix and they cover both team analysis and both opposition analysis. But for example, my idea is that the best thing is that someone is a specialist in what he's doing, and you can be more specialist if you go deep. So normally they divide the work into team analysis. There is one analyst that create all the resources, all the feedback, all the deep analysis tactics, individuals for the team. And there is one responsible of the other part that is the opposition. And it's a specialist in opposition that this is also important. A specialist on the league, on the players, on the coaches that are in different clubs. And they create the feedback for the pre-match only oriented to the opposition. But this is the two biggest steps, team analysis and opposition analysis.
Okay, it's clear. And as for data analysis, it's important for Spain clubs or not? It's popular or not? What do you think?
Okay, data is important. Now everybody wants to use data. And especially in the last few years, we receive huge amount of data. And now my opinion is that the most important is that you can treat this data in the right way. Because if you use the data just because data is a trend and everybody wants to use this is not useful. You need to see how this data can fit inside of your processes. I really believe, and probably because it's more my profile also as analyst, or I believe that is more my profile, I really believe more about this role of specialist in football as analyst. I mean, some analyst that is specialist in football, that can understand what is happening on the game, that can understand which are the solutions to fight and to neutralize and opponents. And I believe in this role that probably is the most or the role that more usual in Spain. Okay, but clubs now, of course, they are very, very interested in data. In Spain, there are also companies, the league provide big amount of data, and it's starting to appear. In some clubs, it's very, very stable. For example, Sevilla, or some clubs that have good scouting and recruitment for players areas. They use this data and it's very useful. And it's starting to appear in all the clubs. Valencia has one data, let's say data engineer more that can give sense to all this data, because we are not able to give sense to all this data. If you receive big data, you can get lost totally. So you need or tools, software platforms, or specialist engineers that orient this data to your needs. And I believe that data is a fountain of information, very, very interesting for the team, but it's only one fountain of information. If you only eat one food, you will have problems. You need to eat fruit, vegetables, meat. You need to eat a lot of things, and data is only one. In my opinion, is one of these fountains that you need to drink. And the same, if you drink a lot, next day you will feel bad. So you need to drink in the specific quantity and is appearing this role, this person in the clubs that says you, this is the glass of water, this is the glass of data that you can drink, and it's useful when you know that you can drink this. No, I want one more. Okay, you can drink now too, but it's step by step, and this is something that is developing. I know some people that is studying data, are appearing a lot of schools of data, masters of data, and I think that this is very interesting because all the industries work in this way, and football should work also in this way.
Okay, thanks. And you said about platforms. Do you have Scout and Statsbomb that other provides? Do you have?
Yeah.
And every platform, no, as for your experience, do you have every platforms and try to use different information, different data, or you choose one provider and how was it?
It depends because, for example, there are some ideas about create your own data.
Mm-hmm.
For example, for tactics. Because
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, okay, platforms like Opta, Scout, all these, even Spain has their own platform in La Liga for providing data. And the data now is getting closer to the demands of football, but in any moment has been in long distance. I mean, you need to traduce to make traduction of this data, and it's difficult to get raw data from Scout and create deep conclusions about what is happening on the game. Because, as we said before, for other things, factors, a lot of factors involved in the game is not only about because data can cover some kind of actions in some way, but they cannot cover a lot of factors that are involved in football, like emotions, like situation of opponents. You can go deep. They are going deep in this way, and they will arrive to some point in which they can give you very, very specific information that define what is happening on the pitch. But you need translators, and now the translators are the specialists, the analyst, the data engineer, all these people that can traduce. But in Spain, yes, we have all these platforms, Scout, Instat, all access to all these, and also the professional clubs. They have one platform from the league to receive this information.
Okay. As for platforms, I read 2-3 times about Media Coach. It's a platform for Spain. Okay. No. Okay. If you can you tell about your experience about Media Coach? If it's very useful for Spain and for Spanish club, because I know that in Russian we have idea make in the future not the same, but the same platforms, and I know that in German clubs have the same, but in Russia no. But we want to do this, and for me it's very interesting if it's useful, and if it's useful, how you use this, you and your experience in club, maybe other specialists.
Yeah, I have some experience with it because I have been testing with it, because I don't work in this context. This is platform for professional leagues that are first division and second division, and this is let's say a social platform. And I explained that what they try is to give this help to every club as a social resource that everybody can use, because many clubs have not access to expensive platforms from industry of football. And I think that in this case, this is very interesting because when you create a platform that only work for some specific competitions, or let's say some specific sport, you can find these links with the platform that can help the platform to get closer to you and understand very well your demands. And in this case, I believe that this platform is so useful for the teams, especially for the teams with low resources that don't have analyst department in the second division, or that don't have all this time to spend on this and get this information. But they have arrived to a very deep information about the needs that the club have, and they understand very well the demands, and they create a lot of KPIs, a lot of indicators about football performance that are very interesting for these clubs. They are close to the clubs in constantly communication, and this make that is interesting. When you receive information from Y Scout, you need to translate by yourself, right? Because you receive information from one platform that work for thousands of clubs in the world, and this is more difficult. But when you receive the information for the home platform, the communication can be more. And this idea of Russia, when I arrive, I say, oh, this league, this country needs to have something like this. And I believe that this is very important. That it's very important to have your own resources, because this will make it easier for the clubs to access to this information and to the platform to create and to cover the specific demands of the clubs. That is what is happening in Media Coach, and in my opinion, is incredibly useful. This tool.
Can you tell me about your experience, work experience with different coaches? Because in my opinion, every coach has specific demands. And how was it for you?
Okay, for me was a very first of all, I need to say that this is very rich experience for someone that has to adapt and to break with the previous role, with the previous processes. This is very important. Also, it's very important to understand the approach of the different coaches. I think that for the modern analyst, this is also, we talked before about factors that you need to be in professional football, and this is one of the key factors for the analyst role, to have the capacity of adapt to different coaches. And not adapt, because adapt yourself is probably a self process that is not only it's not the only thing that you need to do. It's more about understand, have the capacity to don't think on you and what you think about football, and think more about what the coach needs from you, and how what you are doing, how can fit in these needs that the coach have. In my case, I have been 7 years in Valencia, and I have been with 7 different coaches. So different coaches, completely different. Of course, to work in academy structure, to work in this case for the youth is easier, because methodology of football is established for the club, and all the coaches go more or less in the same direction. You are not going to find, for example, when I was in the under 19 of Valencia, you are not going to find one coach that is extremely defensive and play direct, and the next season one coach. But in the first team, you can find this, and it's important to adapt all the resources that you can create to the coach demands. The only thing is that, of course, probably this is the journalist question. This is the interesting thing, is that you can find some coaches that are not so interesting in this, and this is also a hard work for the analyst, because you find big distance, you want to offer a lot of solutions, but the coach doesn't want. And this is also one of the factors, one of the personal skills that should have the analyst, to have the capacity of give what they need plus 1% more. Don't cross much more the line, and don't go so deep, because it's the same. The coach that doesn't believe in these processes needs time. But for example, I feel passion for this job. I feel passion for analyze, for understand the game, for create solutions, for know opposition, and I can go to the coach with a lot of information. But if the coach is not going to receive this information, this is not useful. So this capacity of adapt yourself to different, and I think that there is something that for us, just to summarize, something very important for us, that is, as analysts, when you receive a new coach, I believe that the most important thing is that, first of all, the coach have clear game style, game model, game ideas. And if he doesn't have, as a document, let's say, no, as a PowerPoint in which he say you, in the build-up, I want this. I want this for the fullback. I want this because not every coach has this model developed. It's important that you use the time to get these ideas from the coach, to understand what are the coach demands, and to cover these demands with analysis. And you will feel some kind of stability and peace because you are analyzing, you are creating, you are understanding the game, and you are helping to the coach to develop this model idea of game. And this is very interesting, but the first thing is just the perfect situation is receive one coach that have these ideas clear, but you can receive one coach that doesn't have any idea clear. And you need to approach this from this point of view to create this system that allows to understand all what he needs, all what he wants. And if he doesn't want something, this is your opportunity to give this 1% more and try to offer some solutions and try to cover this hole that is not defined, you know?
If it usually practice when your coach, in Spain, work with analysts. In Russian, analyst industry is young, in my opinion, and that's why not every coach knows how he can use skills of analyst or opportunity of analyst department. And sometimes I didn't work at the club, but I hold a lot of I know a lot of analytics, and they said coach can say what he want to receive, and the analyst department say what do you want, what we can help, but coach can answer because he don't want it first experience for this coach, and he can't, maybe he don't know if it will useful. That's why he can say. And in Russia, it's not for every club the same. No, this situation is not for every club, but sometimes I know that it's possible. And for Spain, almost every coach know how he can use skills of analyst department. On sometimes it's not so, and not so useful for a coach. In your experience,
when you, it's clear when you are explaining how it's working more or less in Russia, in all the clubs. That is also my sensation here. It's true that this is different because staff is from other country. I come also with them, so this connection is different. But I feel this. That you and I understand completely what you say, and I'm very identified with this because this is how Spain was a few years ago. When the profile of the analyst started to appear. There was sometimes this connection because some coaches didn't have this previous experience with analysts. Some analysts also have no experience with coaches. So there is a lack of this connection there that is important to feel. And that's why I say you that in Spain, the role of the analyst is a little bit different because now is more one specialist in football. In that can go also with some softwares and all these tools that we have, but it's specialist in football, specialist in understand what is happening on the game, in focus, in organize the information. This is the specialist in Spain, and this appear like to cover the demand of the coaches. It's important that this happen in all the industries. If you don't need someone to order your room, but they put you someone at the beginning is going to do nothing, but to find this way and start to offer some solution. And I think that because I was in this situation, and it's also our responsibility as analysts to show them what we can do. And this is very important. It's not about being frustrated and say, no, he's asking me things that, no, it's because you will be, if you are in the football industry, and I'm young and I haven't been here a long time, but if you're in the football industry, you need to understand that you will work with different people, with different demands, that you will have better moments, worse moments, although you work always with the same coach and you are happy with this coach. If you are in a club, for example, you will have different experiences. And it's important what I say. In one side, to understand the demands of the coach and can put these ideas and set these ideas, let's say, in a paper and organize these ideas, and to make coach understand the how useful is this process of analysis, And I feel that sometimes here and in many other countries that you can say, well, this is so developed, but it's more about the profile of the analyst. If the analyst is a coach, probably will be interested in what is happening on the pitch, on the training sessions, will try to find relations between the game, the training sessions, the demand of the coach, and it's also about, it's not only one problem from the coach that doesn't believe in the analyst. In the analyst is also a problem of the analyst that needs to cover these demands and needs to show in a proper way what they can do, And probably sometimes we need to make a step forward and try to get closer to the staff and dedicate time to listen them, to talk to them, to understand what they want, not to remove our previous knowledge because I was comfortable with this previous coach and I expect that the next coach is doing the same. No, it's remove your knowledge, clean your mind, and start to build with the things that you can use from before on this coach, So it's try to find what he needs, try to offer him how you can fit this. And just to summarize, I feel that here the figure of the analyst is not well understood. I mean, it's more like someone, because I was in this point a few times in the years that I have been working. You are the guy of the videos, or you are the guy of the data, or sometimes you are the guy of the cables, that you fix the television, that you fix the computer, because they don't have clear what you are doing there. And this is something that will be improving. And as there are more analysts and the clubs believe more in these processes and they understand that this is not someone that I have that I need to have because everybody has analysts. No, this is someone that I need to have because analysis is so important, because you need to understand what is happening on the pitch. And the only way to understand what is happening on the pitch is go deep with deep analysis, with creating from this really good feedback, really good resources to help players, to help staff, and this will be a process. But I feel that in Spain, for example, we were in this point a few years ago. So all coaches probably have more problems. Young coaches have less problems with the technology also, and in these cases that they feel so far away, they will get closer, and in a few years, I believe that this will be something natural like in other countries.
In Russian, we have citation not about analysis and about coach too, that coaches in Russian in second league, maybe coaches who works with child, they receive they receive low money, and that's why they want to work and they want to improve something, because money is big question, and without money they want to do this. And can you tell me about Spain? It's the same or it's different? How is for you?
Yeah, I believe that the Spain is same situation. I don't know the cases in the relative conditions that they have here and there, but normally in Spain the youth is not well paid. I mean, people, is what we were talking before, that people work there more as a hobby. And also about professional football, because the expectations when you want to work in professional football, probably in Russia is more clear, because the clubs are big clubs, big owners with huge money conditions. And you can see this like a money world in which you will arrive and get a lot of money, but this is not realistic point of view also, and many people is trying to go there only for this, only focus on this. But I want to approach this from a different point of view, that is not about the economical conditions, that is also about the work conditions, because in some cases you can, if because it also depends on your level. This is not I work for Dinamo and I will gain millions and millions. I work for Dinamo, and if I'm good, probably I can have the opportunity of get a good salary or not, depend on more on myself. But what I have or what I must to have clear is that if I work for Dinamo or if I will work for one professional club, the demands and the stress of this role will be so high because professional football is so demanding. You need to cover a lot of days of working, a lot of time. You need to be very deep. You need to be very precise. There are a lot of stress situations with the dynamics of the team, with the performance that you cannot control. You need to manage these emotions, and this is hard job. It's very beautiful job if you like, but this is hard job, and that's why sometimes this receive huge money. In respect to this, in Spain, of course, just coming back to the question, most of the people in the youth work gaining no money or low money, and many people dedicate themselves to work even in semi-professional stages, just with the idea of arriving to professional football, to have the opportunity and knowing that it's time that they are investing into the future and they are investing for getting this opportunity in the future, and they accept not to receive a lot of money. They live in worse conditions during some time, just looking for this opportunity. And this is the flame, the fire that I talk about, that you have this fire. This fire can be 20 years or can be 20 days, depending, because if you are dismotivated, sometimes you will say, okay, I give up. But this situation is the same. Unfortunately, the youth sport in many countries, also in Spain, especially in Spain, probably, this is not professional. This is not professional, and as well as this is not offering with professional conditions of money, of everything, of all the resources.
In Russia, it's hard to receive license C because a lot of people, a lot of persons who want to receive and who want to learn, but not a lot of places. For example, I know Zhenya tried to learn 1 year, but he didn't receive the place for this. And it's not only one case. I know 2 cases to analytics who works at the club in Premier League, but can't receive the place for license C, only C, not B and other. But how is the situation in Spain? No, but I need to be honest, it's not for every. I know 3 analytics who has B or A, and they learned and they received license, but it's not so easy in Russian. But if you almost in football and you work in football, it's not so easy to receive license. And for me, it's interesting how it works in Spain.
Yeah. In Spain, during these last years, in my opinion, has been a problem with this because I don't want to say that this was easy to get the first licenses like C or B. Mm-hmm. Let's say C or B that are the 2 first level. But we have a lot of federations inside of the country. Each region has their own federation and they offer their own courses, 1 course per year. So a lot of people have a lot of people have license in Spain. Okay, we are one of the countries with more UEFA Pro licenses in the world. I believe that the country with more UEFA Pro coaches. But this is also approach of the federation, the Spanish federation, that I think that is interesting. For example, UEFA C and UEFA B allowed you to work in Spain till under 15 or something like this. I don't know exactly now, but for the federation, is very important that a lot of people can receive this qualification, because this means that everybody that is working with kids, that is working in football, have this qualification. The most important is that you connect realistically the qualification with the opportunities of job. I mean, if you create 1 course UEFA C that gives you knowledge to work in youth only, then make mandatory that everybody that works in youth get this license and create a lot of opportunities for people to get this license. I mean, create this wheel that brings you more people with the qualification, so you need to make more schools for the qualification, but this comes all from the federation. And this is very interesting because at the end, everybody in the youth in Spain, and I want to make a point, to have the licenses doesn't mean that you have the capacity to be a coach. To have the licenses means that you have the technical knowledge to be a coach.
Yes.
But this is far away from being a coach. I mean,
yes.
Coach is more about relations, control emotions. For example, in the case of youth, about motivating, about create atmosphere for the kids that enjoy football and want to learn in a motivational environment. These kind of things.
Yes, it's complicated.
I think that some point important is that in Spain, in the youth, most of the coaches, I would say almost all of them, have some qualification. And this is interesting. And I think that the best point is what is happening now in Spain in the last 2 years. That this is getting narrow and narrow and narrow as higher as you go. So for the first courses, it's easy to access. But then for the professional courses, you need to make a bigger filter for these people, because it's no sense that everybody has UEFA Pro. And this, in the same way, is worse for the country, because if you have 2,000 people with UEFA Pro and then this coach go outside with UEFA Pro and has no the level, this is bad for the federation. So I think that UEFA C was created with this sense and is interested to create a lot of opportunities for people to arrive to this point and have some knowledge, technical knowledge to work with kids. And from there, if they are more interested, a little bit bigger step to go in more difficult situation, more difficult course. But of course, something that you don't find in, for example, in Spain is someone in the professional football that has no license. So you are in professional football, but analysts don't need to have the license. But I mean coaches. If there is one coach in the professional football, it's a professional coach. Also, not only about the skills, also about the knowledge, because this should be mandatory. And you cannot be in the first division, not in the first, you cannot be in the third, in the 5th division of Spain if you don't have the UEFA Pro license. This is mandatory. So it's something that should be regulated, but this is also about how big is football in other countries. And the thing is that in Spain is the main sport. The main sport, everybody practice, there are a lot of courses, federations are so developed, big federation, big structures that create all these processes.
For me, it's interesting that you have federation, you have education from federation, and I know that you have Barcelona Academy. It's not from federation, it's from the club. And do you have, I don't know, academy or school? I mean, not from league or not from federation. No, school like my school and other schools who learn people, I don't know, scouting, analytics, maybe understanding better football, not for work and football, only like hobbies. It's popular in Spain or not?
Yeah, it's some situation very common in Spain. In Spain, you have the official education come always from the universities. Okay?
From university.
The official education. The official education. And some universities offer these kind of things. Some universities, the sport part of the university, they create these kind of things. No? Then in the other way is in other ways the federation that is also official, but specifically for football, is not officially in terms of studies, and is very popular now in Spain. A lot of private companies.
Yes, private.
That create different products.
Products, yes.
Of learning. Okay, this is not official, but sometimes it's very interesting because they are not so stuck. They are more free for do what they want. So, for example, federation, at least in university, they need to use teachers from the university. Yes. So this is more close because you don't have normally in the university professionals from the football industry that are in that moment in the football industry. But if you are a private company and you create a course of analysis and you have the freedom to bring people from some different clubs, and you can create very, very interesting products of education. And this is very common in Spain for coaching courses to be coached, and specifically congresses and education courses, small courses about a lot of things. About, for example, in football, it's very common about fitness coaching. A lot of education about this from public university, from federation, and from private companies
too. Okay.
Analysis is hiring a lot, is increasing a lot. You have coaching, what we say, and you have a lot of things, scouting, different courses that is very common. There is a big amount of education related to football in Spain.
Okay, so in this part, I don't have more question. And the last part, I want to talk about your work, your regular work, and your responsibility in Dinámo. Can you tell me what do you do? What's your responsibility right now in Dinámo?
My responsibility here officially is to be the responsible of all the video analysis process, to be the director of video analysis. But in this case, I'm part of the staff. So the staff brought me here to the club just to try to create a workflow that help them. So basically, I feel assistant of the staff and of the players in this case that create resources for them and help them daily through video analysis tools and resources.
Yes, I can add. For example, we had the episode of our podcast with analytics who work previous your department, and it was two analytics in the club, and one from I don't know, from coach's team from other country. And these two Russian guy, they work at the club, and they have two responsibilities area. One work with Dinámo and analytics play our team, and second worked with he prepare videos and clips about team, other team. Maybe you can tell about this experience and responsibility in your department.
Yeah,
right now.
in this case, when I arrived to the club, I was going to work with two people that was in the club. They are more or less organized based on the previous staffs, so they have more or less the processes. And my idea, the idea of the staff was to bring me here to create workflow from this information that they were creating and help staff directly with what we have talked before, with the specifically demands on this staff. Because the connection sometimes between the work that was created with the demands that the staff have, this doesn't mean that work was bad and staff was bad. This means that the communication needs to be through some workflow that is interesting and helpful for the club. In this case, unfortunately, when I arrived, one of the analysts left the club, and we work, me and one other analyst. That is the case now with Genia. And basically, I feel myself responsible of all the processes of analysis. All the work that we create, I'm responsible of all this. Specifically, I'm in charge 100% of the team analysis to explain, study and explain what is happening with our team. But also I try to create and put inside of this workflow all the information that Jania give me about the opposition. So basically I am the person that filter all this information for the staff, trying to help them to take decisions about game plan, about strategies, about communication with players, with team, theories, all the feedback that we create. So basically I'm the support that try to make or to create some kind of resources that are helpful for them to communicate with the players. That in this case I believe it's very important because the staff is from other country. The communication could be more difficult, and in this case, it's very useful to have these weapons, that is the video in this case, to approach these feedback processes that are very important in football.
Okay, can you maybe tell me about your weekly regular work? No, for example, you had last game Friday, and today Friday too, and the next game you have tomorrow. Can you tell me in this week what did you do, what did Zhenya, and how works it?
Okay, I will say you which I don't want to forget nothing, because of course I will forget some part of the workflow. There are a lot of details that we need to manage.
Yes,
but
of course.
We have let's say three big columns of the work that are team analysis, opposition analysis, and live analysis. This is my opinion. Okay, it's my opinion that these are the most important things that we are doing here. Okay, so for the team analysis, we go day by day, analyzing and creating resources from all what is happening in the daily, from training sessions, from matches, and we create different feedback and we study what is happening to, at the end, the most important part of here in football, in our case, is the training. Okay, so everything grows through the training, because the training is the way that we can make players and team better and get better performance. So all what we create is to reinforce the training and a little bit more specifically the match. Okay, so we prepare all the work for improve the training or prepare the training and prepare the match. This team analysis is we finish the match, and in this match we have done live analysis. Okay, during the match, Zhenya is coding all the match, and I'm watching the match, just watching the match, and I'm communicated by telephone with the bench. So I talk from a point of view higher that I can get more information and I can review all the actions. I give them try to give objective information, and then we continue with this. Okay, so from this game, the next day, just talking about team analysis, we start with the post-match analysis, and the next day of the match, I analyze the match deeply during the whole day, getting information about what we did during the match. Here we can talk about the style of work that I do. Okay, any analyst can work in different way. What I do is I base this analysis in two things. In one side, the game plan, the strategy that we had for this match. So if we were close to this strategy, it's something that we have defined before. So when you have this defined and you know which was your strategy for the game, then it's easy to identify what was wrong or what was good. So you can join this feedback then, and when you give feedback to the players, say, we predict this, we prepare this, happened this, and we did good or we didn't do in
the players?
To the staff and to the players. I mean, it's important to the players to understand what was the idea and what we did. It's not just about what is happening in the moment. It's more about connecting with the previous work, because the player needs to have the sensation that what they are doing in the day is preparing them for the match, for this strategy.
Yes. One question, maybe I didn't correctly understand. You have communication with players, maybe Zhenya, or only with staff coach?
No. We have communication with players, but not in this way. I mean, we do this, and the last part of the chain is the players. This will arrive on the players, but the first, as I said at the beginning, this is all about supporting the staff, support the coach for the decision taking, support the assistants for the decision taking, and then we can participate in some things with players. But this is more about just support the staff, and this team analysis is based in the game plan and in the new things that appear in the match that we didn't expect. So let's say in the game model, in our idea, which is our idea. Okay, the idea is that the fullback did or do this kind of, or have this kind of behaviors. So when I detect this, I clip this, and we create different solutions for the players as individuals, for some group of players, lines, and for the team. After this, we discuss with the staff. I give this information to the staff, and we analyze the raw information that I have created, and we create a specific, from this we plan the specifically part of the week. One side, the feedback that we are going to give to the players. Other side, what we are going to put in the training sessions about all these things that have happened. For example, if we detect that we are suffering a lot in the defense of the crosses, like we have problems in the last match, this analysis can go deep about what is happening in the defense of the crosses, and we can approach the training sessions trying to give some help to the players about how improve in this part. Okay, so basically all the weeks we do a post-match video with the players to show them, summarize what happened in the match, trying to approach for the next match, trying to approach for one step forward. It's not about this happened, it's about this happened, but this is what we need, or this was what we predict, and we need to continue in this line and this approach. This in one side, and in the other side is the opposition analysis that is done by Genia. So he analyzes the opponents. He make a first filter of the opponents, trying to just to explain as deep as possible which are the main patterns and the main behaviors of the opponent. And he give me this information as raw information. I receive one big filter from his part that is very important for me, because otherwise it's impossible to manage all this information. And I receive from 3, 4, 5 matches, depending on the week, this information, and I do specific filter to show to the staff and say, this is what the opponent do, but my filter is more focused on what we can do to fight in this match, to neutralize and to attack this opponent. So Xenia give me some ideas, and I review a few times all this information. Sometimes I also review by myself some matches, trying to know the league. But in this case, and this is something interesting also for the last question, I believe that it's very important to have people from the club. Even if you are, if club has their own staff of analysis, this is perfect. But have people from the club is very important, because when you come, in my case, when you come from other country, arrive here, puts you in a position very far from the league. I mean, you don't know the teams, you don't know the coaches, you don't know the alphabet of the names of the players. You cannot identify the name of the players. This is a huge problem for us. So it's important to have people that gives you right information about this. For example, if I talk about the league I was last 2 years, I have some information that make me a specialist of this league, about which player is better. Because probably we are watching Ahmad now for the opposition, and I don't have clear information about the players. I just have the information that I'm watching and I miss. And it's important to have people from the club that is a specialist on this, and in this case, it's very useful for us. In this case, for me. So with this filter, I prepare the information for the staff, and we discuss about how we are going to approach this match, and this put the last part of the work in the training session. So one part of the work is about what we need to improve from our ideas of play, and the other one is just to prepare specifically the situations that we think that are clearly important for this match. And we prepare a strategy, a game plan, documents, videos, feedback, individual about game plan. And this game plan is what we develop in the last days of the week. We support, this is our part, we support with video feedback. We create some information about the opponent with the ball, without the ball, and with our solutions. Our solutions can be on the opponent clips or can be from clips previously. We look for some kind of situations in other match that we are going to use. So we bring this information to this video and say, listen guys, this team defend in this way, we'll press in this with this shape and with these behaviors in the high press, and we will try to solve this situation with this tactical and technical solution and these behaviors that we have done, boom, and we show one match in which we did this kind of, we look for this kind of patterns. So this is a process. This is a process all the time. And in the process, there are more details. For example, we have one operator that record all the training sessions and staff check all the training sessions after every day and record all the match. One person, Victor, responsible of this. And after this, we create different solutions during the day that can be individual feedback for the players, sometimes specific video about few matches, about one concrete situation. Sometimes we don't put as much information about the opponent because it's not necessary, and we bring more clips about ourselves. You need to manage all this. And for the game plan, just connect it and finishing the week, we go again to the match tomorrow with Kimki. And in this match, we have a strategy. We have a game plan. So this is the base about the analysis that we do from upstairs. And when you have this game plan clearly defined, it's easy to identify what is happening. For example, the other day with Fackel, we expected that they will be pressed so aggressive, and we are not going to have time. And we expected that the defensive line will be a little bit dropped and let us space in between, but was the opposite. They were not so aggressive with the first line, and the back line, the defensive line, was so aggressive. So we didn't expect this, but we expect other thing. When you watch this, quickly you make the click and say, listen, now we have a space on the back. So this is the kind of communication, the kind of analysis that we do during the match. And this live analysis, in the halftime, we watch with Zenia and me, we go downstairs, we watch with the staff, and we decide if this will be only for the speech of the coach or this will be to show to the players, to show some clips and some sequences and say, guys, we need to find this space, we need to cover this position, etc., etc. I don't know. There are many more things that we do, I believe, but basically, I think that it's about this. Just, I want to make a point that is, we are just one small part of the chain, and I really feel myself in this position. I don't feel that we are incredibly important here. I believe a lot in what we do, and I believe that the work that we do, not that we specifically do, I mean, this work of analysis is very important because it's important that the players receive this information and receive this feedback, because this is powerful weapon to approach the process. But at the end, our only purpose here is to support the staff in the decision taking. I mean, we need to take decisions about which players we play, which game plan ideas we need to set for this week, which training session we need to prepare, and we try just to support them in this decision taking. So we are just some help for the staff. This is our purpose here.
How many theories do you have per week?
It depends a little bit on the week, but normally we have theories all the days. I believe more or less all the days. Only one day left in the week, because after the match we do the post-match analysis with the team. This is the first video feedback, the first theory. And then depending on how long is the week, if it's 5-day week, if it's 6 days week, this change a little bit. But we try to, when we are doing a specific work on the pitch to prepare something about the match, this day we do theory. So, for example, if we are working offensively, some offensive patterns with the team, we try to show them some clips about how the opposition will defend us, and to make clear image for the players of what we need on the match, of what we are going to find in the match. And this is also the purpose, to give stability to the players and give the knowledge to feel them comfortable and anticipate what they are going to receive on the match. This is the key of the opposition analysis. So we do normally always post-match analysis, one day opposition with the ball, offensive, one day opposition defensive, and the match day we do a game plan video just with the strategy for the game, with the key ideas that we need to put on the pitch, and one for the set pieces, for all the corners, free kicks, throw-ins, all these things. So every week we have 5 meetings with the players, and apart from this, during the year appear individual meetings that we approach with some players when we identify. This is something that if we are more people here, probably we can cover in a better way. We are doing, but sometimes that we talked this before, could be useful to give feedback to most of the players every week, because this is more specific. Sometimes we are talking about only general things of the team, and if you can have more people involved in this, you can go more specifically and create feedback individual to give feedback to the players every day. And this is also something that we are covering, not every day, not every week, but we also try to cover this with individual videos.
How long time for one theory?
It depends on what happened on the match, because sometimes we have one match in which we don't need to see nothing realistically, and we show them just a positive feedback about what we did, and sometimes we need to show them more than 20 sequences about the match. But in general, we like, or in general, the coach likes short information for the players. We are doing feedbacks around 4 minutes when it's complete feedback, and when we talk about opposition with the ball or without the ball, we are around 2 minutes feedback, 2 minutes and a half, just to talk about 12 sequences about what is the opponent doing in the match.
I heard different approaches. For example, one coach domain that analytics make more videos about mistakes, and it means what we need to improve, the mistakes of our team. And other approach that coach domain make video with successful points of our games. And for you now, what works? Maybe how many percent for mistakes? If it's not secret for us, if it's secret, you cannot answer it. So it's okay. But in general, it's interesting. Right now, it's in general in Spain, because I can answer who was it, but I meet very different approaches, and in my opinion, was approach. This different depends on coach, and from country, different coaches from different country have different approaches. And for me, it's interesting how it was right now in general in your experience for Spain.
I just want to make a point that this is something I feel very comfortable with, because what I study and really my passion is about feedback. It's about how I can help, or how we can help the players. This is completely my passion. And something I listen a lot is about positive and negative feedback. And this is something that I totally believe against this, because for me, there is not positive and negative feedback. For me, there is feedback, and the feedback is always positive. I mean, the feedback as itself is always positive, because it's always helpful. If you approach it and focus it in the right direction, this is always helpful. If you say something that was wrong, it's not negative. It's something that was wrong, but it's positive, because we identify. The most important is to identify what is happening and what we need. So, okay, if we need to go to a concrete answer, we normally depend, especially for our matches, depend a little bit on how was the match, no? And sometimes we saw a lot of mistakes that we need to, if this is big mistakes, that you need to repair quick, because we cannot make mistakes the next week, and you need to fix this quick. But realistically, I believe that our approach, or my approach, I prepare the theories, and my approach is always the same, is what we need from this. I mean, which is the next step with this clip. So I don't say you are doing this bad. this is negative feedback and this is not useful feedback. I say we had problem in this and we can do in this way. So you are approaching some mistake, but with the solution. The same in the positive. You saw a positive action, but we did this and we get this benefit and we need to continue doing this. So realistically, all the approaches of the mistakes that you say about mistakes, like the negative action, is true.
Oh, yes, in this case, yes.
It's true. It's a negative action, but it's a positive feedback. It's a constructive feedback.
Yes.
And the positive action is a reinforced feedback. So we talk about constructive and reinforced feedback. So I cannot say the percentage of the amount. Sometimes I have the sensation that we are approaching it from mistake. And another match, you say we are approaching it from reinforce.
Okay.
But always approaching it from the view of which is the next step with this. Why not this happen is we need this from you, even in the positive and in the negative action, And just one point that is about how to manage the team in terms of emotions. Sometimes the team needs love. Okay? Needs, this.
It depends on player too, I think.
Yeah, but in some situations, we lose the match. For example, the last week, and you can approach this from, I'm the coach that will take the stick and give a stick to the players and pop. Or you can approach from, listen, let's see that this is the realistically work, because we don't follow our emotions. We as analysts, myself as analyst, I don't follow my emotions. I try to analyze in an objective view what is happening on the match and offer solutions on what is happening and approach this from lovely or more not punish, but more negative way. But sometimes the team needs to receive information. Hey guys, come on, dobre utra, wake up, because we are having a problem here and we cannot make these mistakes. This is, let's say, more aggressive, and sometimes they need, guys, don't worry, continue in this way, we are doing well, this is the way, So also you need to manage these theories as emotionally, what message you are going to translate to the players. This is also about the role of the analyst. In this case, I'm part of the staff, I'm assistant of the staff, so I participate a lot in the decision of this process, but at the end, the coach is the figure that decides, I need to say this in this moment, I need to say this with this information. So, of course, the information that the coach receives is, let's say, filtered for us, so has our brain inside of this information. Sometimes if other analysts do this, probably receive different information. So from this filter that we make, we can condition a little bit the way of this. But also they watch the information, the clips, the match, they continue in the process and they have their own opinion. So we discuss about this and how we need to approach. Sometimes we have clear what happened on the match. I prepare a theory for the post-match and we say, okay, we have this theory, but it's not about this theory. It's how we are going to approach this theory. How we are going to, which kind of message, and this is the part of the coach that is the most important part of the process of football. That is the communication with the player. How I'm going to motivate these players, how I'm going to prepare them for the next match, to involve all of them, to have everybody with this fire inside. And at the end is what we say. The video is only support for his message. It's not more than support for his message. So in this case, players speak Russian, coach speak a lot of language, English in this case, but the video is the translator, is the Google translator in this case. I mean, is what put on the pitch the words that the coach wants to say. That's why it's useful, because if I talk to a Spanish player, I can convince him more easy than if I talk to an English player.
Mm-hmm.
And if I talk to a Russian player, probably I don't have opportunity to convince him because I don't have enough knowledge of the language and enough knowledge of the emotional.
So, Gillermo, we finish here. I want to say thanks for this interview for me and for our project is very important. And finally, I want to say that your approach and the Spain approach is one. In Russian, we have other approach, but we can say what is better. It's different, and we want to show this difference. That it's very important for me, for our school, and for our audience. Thanks to you, and good luck in your work and in your future.
Okay, I would like also to say thanks to you for the invitation, and I hope I like a lot to share all this. I don't believe that I do nothing special or I have anything special inside of me, but I also want to learn about different people, about different approaches. I think that this makes us all better, more rich about knowledge, and I hope if I can help with what I say to someone, this is perfect. And thank you again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.